I left everything open for planning.
Okay, welcome everybody. Real quickly, we have the sign-in sheet here. Looks like we have several people signed in to speak. If anybody chooses to speak and hasn't signed in, please do so now. You approach the bench here and sign your name in. And I will mention that we're going to have a little change in the agenda this evening as far as the listing of the various agenda items. Due to the fact that the request for approval of a $2,000 across the board, or excuse me, a $2 hour, which equates to $4,000 across the board raise for public employees is number 5. We're going to ask that anybody who chooses to speak for or against this number 5 item, and you haven't already spoken, see several people in the council chambers here who has already spoken in favor of an increase. And if you've done so, we would prefer that you don't need to reinforce those wishes that you have previously expressed. So we're going to ask for that early, and that will also that will complete your ability to speak under public comment. So you can say basically anything that you'd like to say on the salary increase for Public Works, and if you have something else you want to speak about, then you can do so. But then when we get down to the closing public comments, you will have already said your piece, in other words. So with that, if you'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Right on. Okay, first order of business, reading and approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting dated August 22nd, 2023.
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second?
I have a motion and second to approve the minutes as presented for the regular council meeting of August 2023. And now I would like to open the floor up, as explained a few minutes ago, prior to the vote on the increase for Public Works, for anybody who would like to speak and who has signed up and would like to speak for or against that increase. So do we have anybody who would like to make a comment now? Okay, sir.
First I want to do is apologize to Mr. Rappo for the way that I acted at the last meeting. I was aggravated and a little out of line. He's the one that spoke, so he's the one that got the brunt of the anger. So anyway, I'm for the $2 on the hour raise. I know it's not the $8,000 that we asked for, but I'm for the $2 on the hour raise. And I appreciate that y'all have taken it up, discussed it, and are going to vote on it tonight. Thank
Very
you.
good. James, thank you very much, and thank you for taking the time before our meeting to approach me individually with that heartfelt apology. I do appreciate it. That was a tough night, no doubt, and I appreciate your comments. Thank you. Anybody else here would like to speak for or against this issue of the raise? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. During the pandemic, public worker employees were given a $6,000 raise for being essential. And even though they haven't stopped being considered essential, we stopped giving them the salary they deserve to be properly cared for. Last year, Huntington, West Virginia set a precedent and gave their city workers a $15 an hour wage, a more livable wage. I believe that we can find the funds to do the same thing. The working class bears the brunt of a lot of crises. I don't blame them for being sick and tired of being sick and tired. They are typically overworked, underpaid, and undervalued. We shouldn't need a pandemic to take care of our workers the way that they should have been taken care of all along. If we aren't taking care of our own, then who is? I am not in favor of this $2 an hour raise. I believe that they deserve more. Thank you.
Your name again, please?
Christina Baston.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else to speak in favor of or opposing the proposed salary increase? Now, have you signed in, sir?
I did. Nelson Potter.
Good.
All right, so I'm torn. $4,000. It makes some people happy. Some that don't. I'm not 100% sure where I stand on it right now. I guess depending on a way that a few different things could go. I know Mr. Dunlap had talked about more merit-based issues and raises. You know, that's something I'm fine with if the $4,000 is a start. For example, like, I'll just use myself. 23 cents is my annual, what's the word I'm looking for?
Longevity.
Longevity?
Yeah, my longevity. I don't think I've ever got a raise in my life under 50 cents. And just with the cost of living now, like looking forward to that 23 cents, you know, I mean, it's going to take 4 years to reach $1. You know, I don't know what the future holds, but I mean, I know gas hasn't went down. Food prices, you know, some foods are up 300% right now. I think the 4,000 is a good start. I really didn't come prepared because I wasn't sure. Everything that I was going to speak on tonight was based on what y'all were going to speak on, so I'm kind of not really at a loss, but I don't know. I don't think it would hurt to look at individuals, but at the same time, you know, I brung up to $6,000. I know it just kept me above water during the pandemic. Every time that I'd get a $13.85 check, that was enough to pay the bills. So, I mean, in that time, I've worked for things. For example, I got a CDL. I got a 50-cent raise to become a Class B driver. Anywhere else, you know, that's $18 an hour that somebody's going to be making. I do asbestos. I hold 2 asbestos licenses. And we've got guys that hold 3 asbestos licenses. I get $1 extra for doing asbestos. Something, you know, I know the police officers, you know, they've got a chance of anything happening to them, they could see a bullet coming. Me, I breathe in a fiber, 30 years from now, I'm drowning in my own fluids for $1. So, you know, it's, I don't know, things are just tough right now. So,
15 seconds.
all right, I'll just leave it at that. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Any other speakers on this topic, for or against? Okay, thanks to each of you, and we'll proceed with item number 3 on the agenda, award of a bid for 1 breathing air compressor system for the Beckley Fire Department. Sherry or
Okay.
Cody?
There was 1 bid received for a breathing air compressor for Beckley Fire Department from American Airworks. Submitted the bid for $45,965. The bid submission met all the requirements and specification required by the Beckley Fire Department. American Airworks is a local company and has done business with the city previously, and I have a motion to approve the $45,965 bid for a breathing air compressor.
Second.
Okay, a motion and second to approve the bid for the breathing air compressor to replace one that's quite old. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Next, receipt of bids for milling and paving of Woodlawn Avenue from Second Street to Clark Street. It's not as easy as it looks, Tom.
I can tell you're doing better though.
I'm doing better. At least I'm not waving that pointed.
Sword at us.
Yeah. Okay, we have one bid from Southern West Virginia Paving for $96,750. Second bid from AAA Paving and Sealing for $86,250. These two bids will be turned over to Councilwoman Hunter, Councilman Reedy, Stan Fry, Mr. Trump for possible award at a future meeting. Thank you. Okay, next item, request for approval of a $2 an hour raise across the board, pay increase for Board of Public Works employees. And we'll say, I know it was mentioned that a merit increase for Public Works employees be considered, but I think we've set the precedent with the police department for across the board. And I feel like that my personal opinion is we're obligated to follow that precedent. So with that, Mr. Trump, do you have any comments on the city's ability to award this $2 an hour increase to Public Works?
With the current savings the city's going to realize with salt and some other costs that at Public Works, I think that this is manageable within the current budget, numbers we have for Public Works. I looked at the numbers today and they look favorable to being able to do this raise at this time.
Okay, I will say too that originally we had rounded this up to $4,000 across the board, and Councilman Reedy, Councilman Large Reedy suggested that we look at making this an hourly increase due to the fact that those affected are hourly employees. The $4,000 increase would have meant an increase of $1.92 an hour, and upon Councilman Reedy's suggestion to take this to $2 an hour, as opposed to across the board 4,000, raise the increase 8 cents, which is not significant, but I do appreciate Councilman Reedy's thought and suggestion on this issue. Any other questions or comments from any member of council on this?
I'd like to make a couple comments on it. Like the mayor stated, $2 across the board. If you work 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year, it's $41.60 increase. I personally thought that it needed to be hourly, of course, because Public Works is an hourly position. They're not based on salary. So, you know, if you get down to the end of the year and you only work 30-some weeks, then your $4,000 raise is not going to technically be there. So that's why I suggested the $2. Being in the industry, I compared, Mr. Trump gave me numbers on the hourly rates of the public works employees. And I mean, you were looking at, and I compared them to my industry. For the ones that do not know, me and my family's in the construction business. Your laborers were going $12, $14. Carpenters, electricians, plumbers were $18 or $17 to $23 an hour, and that's very competitive. And then going into this, I said that I wanted to make sure they had competitive increase. So going to $2, you're going to be laborers are around $14, $16, and the carpenters, electricians, plumbers are going to be going $19 to $25 an hour, plus the benefits of health insurance. And if I understand this correctly, a single person's paying about $50 a month for their health insurance, where if you have a family, it's $100 a month. That's not usually in our industry offered in the private sector with that and retirement. So I think this makes public works very competitive, and it's something, it's a great start point in my opinion, a 2-hour across the board raise. So I would make the motion that this would be approved.
Second.
Okay, only discussion I would make, thank you, Cody, for your exhaustive look into this and your experience in your industry. And I think it is important to know, as Cody mentioned, if an employee of the city of Beckley has dependent coverage, in other words, if he's married and has children, the city kicks in another $4,220 from the city to support their health benefits. When that employee is, as Cody said, is paying $50 a month out of their pocket if they do not have dependent coverage, and only $100 a month if they have a family. So there's more to the expenses involved in any increase than meets the eye sometime. So any other comments or questions?
Mayor, just one brief comment. I've had folks at Public Works and individuals from my ward contact me regarding this issue, and I just want to take a quick moment to thank the mayor, because Public Works, this may be hard to swallow for now, but this is the first issue for which the mayor has reached out to all of us individually to educate us on the topic, which I appreciated immensely. You know, there's been accusations that all these things happen behind closed doors and what have you, but it really did mean a lot to have the mayor reach out to all of us individually, open that door and have a discussion behind what they think will be able to fund this. But more importantly for me, Pam Fry's been in Public Works for 23 years, managing 55 people, and as such is boots on the ground. Nothing we're doing here precludes Pam from making recommendations at those meetings as to individuals that may need to be separately inured with the benefits. So I just want to take an opportunity to thank you for your years of service, way exceeding my own. And I do want you to be bold, because I know that's in you, and your people have a great advocate in you, and you have friends up here. So please do that in the future. And Mayor, you, like I said, stepping up that way, and Mr. Trump making himself available to me this week for a quick discussion on these topics really helped a lot. So I want to thank everyone for taking that time.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the $2 an hour raise for Public Works. Any other discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, second reading and public hearing of an ordinance granting easement to North Beckley PSD. Mr. Fowle?
Thank you, Mayor. At our August 22nd meeting, we had first reading on this ordinance. This is an ordinance that authorizes the North Beckley Public Service District, and it basically grants to them an easement in which they can cross the Lewis McManus Trail to install and maintain certain sewer lines. And because it does deal with real estate, we have to do this through an ordinance. Tonight will be second reading, and then we'll have a public hearing. This ordinance is titled, "An Ordinance Granting Easement to North Beckley Public Service District through Lewis McManus Trail." And at this time, I'll open the public hearing and ask if anybody has any comments, either in favor of or in opposition to this ordinance. Appearing to be none, Mayor, I'll close the public hearing and turn it back over to
Very
you.
good. Thank you, sir. This ordinance is somewhat ordinary. It gives the North Beckley Public Service District the right to interrupt our trail temporarily to install a line. Any comments or questions on the ordinances presented by Mr. Fowle? If not, would entertain a motion on the second reading, this motion to,
So moved.
okay.
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve the ordinance as presented by Mr. Fowle. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Thank you. Next, further fairly routine ordinances here that we're always happy to accept, and due to the ability of our people who have the responsibility to distribute some of these Governor Highway Safety Program grants to smaller departments in our area. It's something we always look forward to doing. So, Mr. Fowle, are you prepared for that resolution?
Yes, sir, I am. Your Honor, Angela King asked me to present these three resolutions. We'll do them one at a time and just take a minute. The first one is a resolution for the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program. It states, whereas the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles has recently approved a grant in the amount of $415,520 for the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program, which monies will be used for the law enforcement liaison project. Whereas City of Beckley has been asked to enter into the attached agreement with the State of West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles to apply, receive, and administer these grant funds. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Beckley that the mayor is hereby authorized to enter into the attached agreement with the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles. Mayor?
Thank you very much. Okay, the resolution, again, this is one that we're fortunate enough to receive pretty much on an annual basis. Any other questions of Mr. Fowle's explanation? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to approve the resolution to the West Virginia Governor's, from the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program. As described by Mr. Fowle, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign. Next, a similar resolution, Mr. Fowle.
Yes, sir. The next resolution states, whereas the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles has recently approved a grant in the amount of $348,500 for the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program, which monies will be used for the West Virginia Lifesavers and data tracking and agency support projects. And whereas the City of Beckley has been asked to enter into the attached agreement with the State of West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles to apply, receive, and administer these grant funds. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Beckley that the mayor is hereby authorized to enter into the attached agreement with the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles. Mayor?
Thank you very much. Any questions of Mr. Fowle on this particular resolution? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion and second to approve the resolution as presented by Mr. Fowle. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign. Motion carries. Third resolution, Mr. Fowle.
Yes, sir, Mayor. This is the third and final resolution tonight. Whereas the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles has recently approved a grant in the amount of $357,400 for the West Virginia Governor's Highway Safety Program, which monies will be used for the Southern Regional Highway Safety Program. And whereas the City of Beckley has been asked to enter into the attached agreement with the State of West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles to apply, receive, and administer these grant funds. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Beckley that the mayor is hereby authorized to enter into the attached agreement with the West Virginia Division of Motor Vehicles. Mayor?
Very good. It's getting to be like Groundhog Day. That'll sound pretty much the same, yeah. Any other questions on this resolution?
Mayor, let me just
Yeah.
also point out, if I may.
All right.
If anyone has any questions, Mr. Dean Capehart, who administers this program, is in attendance tonight.
Well, I didn't see Dean. There he,
He's as far back as he can get.
Dean, do you have any comments? I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Oh, there he is. Didn't even see him.
We good? Very good, thank you. We have a motion and second to, have we received a motion and second to approve this resolution? Okay. I would entertain that motion, please.
So moved.
And seconded?
We have a motion and second to approve the resolution as presented by Mr. Fowle. Again, Dean, I apologize for not seeing you earlier. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed by a like sign, that motion carries. Next, anything from any member of council under old business?
Mayor, just one quick point on old business. I took an opportunity to meet with Mr. Fowle. We may have been a little presumptive about the council members attending the department meetings on Friday. Mr. Fowle explained to me from an attorney's perspective how, as a lot of HR matters are covered and things of that nature, that it may be inopportune with our local and current structure for our government to have council members attend those department meetings. I think I understand a little better that the mechanism that's preferred is for us to sort of reach out directly to Billy, Mr. Trump directly for that information, but that'll shield the protection of our employees who frankly deserve privacy whenever their employment issues are being discussed. So I understand the rationale, but I wanted to let the folks know that that hasn't been abandoned. It was looked into. It's just for legal reasons. We always blame the lawyers, but for legal reasons, it doesn't make a lot of sense for privacy purposes.
It's not quite HIPAA, but it's close to it.
It's close to HIPAA.
Yeah,
It's
very
not
good.
HIPAA, but it's
Thank
something.
you. Thank you, sir. Anything else from any member of council under old business? Anything from any member of council under new business?
Mayor, I'd like to thank Captain Kevin Price. Kevin, thank you so much for speaking yesterday about how the steel beam made its way to Beckley, and thank Billy Trump. Thank you, Billy, and thank Brian Trump. Our city's blessed to have that relic of the World Trade Center in our town. I want to thank Joe Moorfield for always helping with that memorial service. Thank you.
Was there a mayor there who presented the proclamation? I'm not sure.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
I was there in person.
Tom was there in person.
Thank you, Tom.
Very good. Anything else from any member of council under new business? Okay, we're down to public comments. Number one, Mary West. 3 minutes, ma'am.
Good evening once again.
Good evening,
I
Mary.
am here looking for help still down on LaRue Avenue. Whenever you all get tired of hearing me, maybe I get some help. I've asked for a four-way stop. I have asked for speed limit to be changed. I've asked for speed bumps. And I'm always getting a negative answer. So if you can put about 3 speed bumps down there, put a sign there so the snowplow can see it. And get us some help to slow them idiots down on LaRue Avenue. Because it is really getting ridiculous. Some people feel like they can't even drive through there and do 25 without a jack bunny running up behind them, pushing them on down the road. So we need some help down there. And once again, the trees that are ruining my property and everybody else's property that the city no longer say they own. But back in the day, you could send me a letter and tell me to get a bicycle off the alleyway, a tire. So why can't you all cut your trees down? Because I am tired of all the leaves all over everything in my yard after I have paid my money to get the trees cut down that belongs to you guys on my side. So if you all can do something to help down there on LaRue, and I know LaRue is not the only street that's in need because there's so much speeding. I sit at my grandchildren's bus stop and watch people flying through. It doesn't make any sense. There's nowhere to go here in Beckley that important that you got the speed to go. What's gonna happen? Somebody's child get killed. Somebody walking the street get killed. Then you all gonna do something? I have asked for this almost 22 years. I got a 4-way stop in one of the administrations, but I'm not getting anything in this administration. So please give me some help. And I will stop coming and asking you guys if you could do something to help me. Thank you, and have a good evening, and everybody be blessed.
Thank you. Tom Mosley next. 3 minutes, please.
Good evening, how are you all?
Good.
I'd like to reiterate a little bit on Ms. West was speaking about the safety with speeders. When I was up here in the spring, and I think Mayor Radhold and Mr. Reed for getting the signs up on Hull Street, awareness is a big issue to slow some of this down, but it wasn't enough. I did reach out to the police department. They were kind enough to put a flashing speed sign there. As my neighbor Greg can tell you, we had peace for a couple weeks, but we didn't have enough funding, to my understanding, to have those everywhere they were needed. So we are back to the same problem. We have the Indianapolis 500 in our front yard. The houses and the property there is no sidewalk to separate from the yard to the road, so it's very dangerous. So I have talked with Mr. Dunlap, I've talked with Mr. Reed some, looked into some solutions. One thing I would suggest is lowering the speed limit. According to West Virginia 17C-6-3, a municipality can change the speed limit, the safety issue, without the authority of the traffic commissioner. And I have a copy of that to leave with you all. Ms. West talked about speed bumps. I know it's an issue as far as the plows. I spoke to the city of Princeton. They have used them for 20 years. They make recycled plastic. They make rubberized ones that can go down to 3/8-inch bolt. It can come up in the winter. And I have some pricing information on that to leave with you all as well. You all have been great to help me so far, and I appreciate all your help. But this is an ongoing problem. And I'm asking for your help again to take this a step further. You know, at one point, that was a one-way street many years ago. It's something that maybe needs to go back to at some point, because it's used as a one-way, and there's other avenues to get through there. But anything you folks can do to help, the council can do, we appreciate it. We don't want someone to end up hurt there, including myself, okay, before we fix this. And I'll leave this paperwork with you all, and y'all can look over it at your convenience.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Jennifer Hensley.
Hello.
Hello.
I just really had a statement and a question at the end. With me, I hear a lot of numbers getting tossed around. I hear this is happening and that is happening. I hear that is happening and this is happening. And I hear, you know, in the last meeting I heard I could meet with somebody about it. And I hear you say you have to reach out to this person to get any information, and this person has to reach out to these people to get any information. But the one thing that I can tell you that would help is transparency. So whenever you get, you know, like a fund that goes into an account, you're able, like say this over almost $700,000 from the, you know, the state that I'm sure that we really appreciate, but can we break it down and show everybody where that goes? Can we show us exactly how it is tended to? Only because, you know, I think that's fair. To say, you know, here's $700,000, but we're not gonna tell you what we're doing with it. Doesn't really break even with me. So, there was that, and then I had a question about, I had worked out of town for months and months and months. And I had come back to a notice in my mailbox that said I was about to have to pay the, I think it was code enforcement, $1,000 for that, for my lawn. Ms. Mary said, your lawn, you keep yours clean, right? $1,000 is a lot of money. I almost blacked out. So I went ahead and got my yard mowed. But I was wondering, where did those go? All of the fines, all of the, where, like, what are the fines used for? Could they be used for something fruitful? Could they be used for something that could help Beckley and workers? That's all I really have to say to that. So I appreciate that conversation.
Yeah. The only thing I would say, Beckley was, if not the first, one of the very first, about 6 years ago, to take the state treasurer or auditor up on the offer for OpenGov. And OpenGov gives you the right to go on the computer and look at every expense and every penny of revenue that comes into the city. And I would suggest, if you have a computer, to Google up OpenGov and look at it, and that might generate questions that you have. And if you have specific questions, then feel free to contact our controller or Mr. Trump, our recorded treasurer. But when you talk about transparency, my personal opinion is there's not a city in the state that's more transparent with their financial matters than the city of Beckley. So I would encourage you to do that. Thank you, Coach Parham.
I'm here representing 100th Street, one of the busiest streets the city of Beckley, you know, it connects the patch with the city, I mean, with downtown, the mall, and et cetera, hoping that we can get the road repaired. I'm sure you're familiar that we've had a lot of water over there. And the sanitary board came and, you know, they tore it up and patched it and et cetera. So, as Hunter Street enters onto South Kenoi Street, there's a severe pothole there. And to make things worse, this pothole consistently fills up with water. Also, there's a garage on the left as you come out of Hunter Street with those concrete barriers there, which, you know, creates a problem. The child care center is on the right. They park their large buses, you know, tail end sticking out in the sidewalk area as well as in the street sometimes. They have an exceptionally large bus. And this presents a problem. Also, there's a telephone pole right there on the right of that curve as you come out on the street. Okay, she was talking about the speed bumps. I don't know, but I'm sure, you know, members of the Public Works will know how to fix it or make it safe. We've recently had about 5 children moved into Hunter Street. We would like them protected.
Excuse me, Coach, I didn't hear what you said about 5 children.
We have about 5 children that have moved on to Hunter Street.
Okay, I got you.
And they play.
Good.
Talking about speeding, come through in the evening around between 4 and 6, or in the morning about 9 when they're late for work. And I wanted to ask a question. I hope I can get an answer. Allow mufflers pretty okay now?
Chief, you want to answer that? They're not okay, but they're out there. Oh, I know.
They are not.
Unless they're made with the vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like I said, there's a filling station on the railroad.
Yeah.
And I guess they put those mufflers on and test them on Hunter Street.
Yeah. They test them over on Woodlawn too, Coach, all hours of the day and night.
One other question there.
All righty.
Driving while on the cell phone, is that legal now?
Still very,
No.
very illegal.
You know, time passed me by, but I remember.
Texting or talking is illegal.
Texting
While
or
you're
talk is illegal.
Chief, could you estimate how many people you pull over in a week for using their cell phones while driving? Yeah. I mean, they're pulling them over, Coach, but, you know, you can't stop everything, but we're working on it. Thank you, sir. Dolores Kidd.
I was born a few years ago, about 8 streets off of South Kenoi. So I pretty much know the workings of the city of Beckley and most of the people. Even though I find the policemen and most of the city councilmen are the unfriendliest people you ever read in Christ. But anyway, I can deal with that. I came
That's a
to-
great start, Dolores. That's gonna make everybody happy.
Winning friends like crazy.
But anyway, I came tonight to ask you about the fact that the Beckley garbage disposal is asking for a rate increase. Now, I was getting garbage collected from Mike, whatever his name was, for
Bernassi, yeah.
years and years and years. I never had any problems. So he sold out some while ago to Beckley garbage disposal. So I have a letter here that say they're gonna raise my garbage. And I know this happens and all, but you need to pick up my garbage in order for me to say, okay, I'll give you another $5. And that's really not happening. I don't know who owns the garbage company, but only thing they pick up is anything that's in a bag, in a clean bag. So what you have to do on Wednesday, when the garbage man comes, you have to sit on the porch, check the garbage can to make sure they get everything that's in there. I called and complained about it. The lady at the neck of the garbage this time said, well, they eat it next time. So that means that anything that's, well, I guess they should be bagged if they say so, but sometimes it's not. It's got to sit there until the next Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever they come. Why are you asking me for another $5? You're not even getting what I'm paying you for now. And here's the letter I got from them, and they said to call Beckley Garbage Disposal and complain about this. Yesterday I called 7 times. I never got an answer. They have a recording that says, I think it says something about hold for the next available operator. I held time and time and time yesterday, day before yesterday, and yesterday I held 9 times. I called 9 times. I never got an answer. So my question to you, or what I'm asking is, do the council have to authorize these pay increases?
It had nothing to do with it, unfortunately. I guess it's a PSC matter.
It is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's fair for me, an
15
old
seconds.
widow, to have to pay another $5 for garbage that in order for me to get it picked up, I have to sit on the porch and wait for the garbage man to come. And we didn't have this problem when Mike was there, Mike Pernesti.
Pernesti.
We never had a problem with them, you know, with the thing. Now, that's all it is, a problem. And here it says that
15
they're gonna
seconds.
charge
15
me.
seconds, Dolores. 15 seconds.
Pardon me,
You have 15 seconds.
left.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
But now they're not getting my garbage, but they wanna give you, they want me to give them an additional $5, which would cause my garbage bill to be $27 a month.
No.
But I don't think it's fair, and I'm talking about all these rate increases and all of this that's going on, for me to have to give them, what's the next guy gonna ask for, another $5?
Well, it is, yeah. You might want to write a letter to the Public Service Commission.
Hey,
Yeah,
I contacted them right here.
okay. Okay, your
Her
time's
name
up,
is Karen
ma'am.
Buckley.
But I will agree with you on one thing. My trash, same company, picks up my tote or empties my tote on Tuesdays. And then, which was today, I went home for lunch. They had already picked up the white trash bags in my tote. So I'm wheeling my tote back to where I keep it, back at the end of the driveway. It was really heavy, and I thought, golly, did they get everything? I looked down at the bottom, and I don't know what was in that bag, but it was something really heavy in that. So I'm like you. They get the white bags, but they don't get anything that's a little bit inconvenient for them. So I mean, I'm with you, but I don't know what we can do about it.
So I tried to get in touch with Karen Buckley
Okay, well,
at the Public Service Executive.
okay, thank you very much, and I sympathize with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the city give me $5?
Yeah. Yeah. Dolores, it's in the mail.
Hey, Dolores, it's also a competitive market in that trash services. There's other companies out there that'll pick your trash up.
Well, they're all owned by the same company now.
Yeah.
White
So
Cap got
They
bought
really
out.
are. Started
Yeah,
with
they're
Oak
all
Hill.
They're all under the same.
Yeah.
So White Cap
I didn't
bought out
realize.
Beckley Garbage and Oak Hill Garbage. They're owned by the same company now, so there's really no competitive.
And
Right.
Dave Sanitation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's White
White
Cap
Cap
Waste.
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's gonna happen is gonna be, like, we're gonna be dumping our trash over the years.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Then you'll meet this gentleman here.
Captain Morgan.
He'll come pay you a visit for open
Could be
dumping.
the third unfriendliest person.
Anthony, sir, do we have anybody signed up on the phone to speak?
We do have a couple members
Who indicate they want to speak?
Yeah.
Okay, for public comments, if calling in by phone, dial *3 to raise your hand. If connected by a computer, click the hand icon on your participants panel. So Anthony, you want to send them our way?
All right, so it doesn't look like anybody raised their hand at this time.
Okay, all righty. Well, very good. Anything else for the good of the cause? If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Adjourn. Thanks, everybody, for attending.
Tracy,